Who knows? Does it matter? Probably not.
Welcome to Zero Hit Points, everybody.
Whatever. Do whatever you want.
Thanks for coming. It's Wednesday, August 17th.
Is it?
I'm Ryan Miller.
Every day is the same. Painful and filled with misery.
His microphone's not broken. He's just Matt Amberg.
Basically, a broken microphone is a perfect analog for me as a human.
If you notice any audio issues,
it's
not our fault.
Like,
it's because Blue Yetis.
And here's the fun part, by the way. Yeah, this thing is so stupidly sensitive right now. This is ridiculous.
Cool. Just like me.
This thing, an hour ago, was listed fine. I've rebooted my computer about 4 times now. I've searched on the internet. It's broken. I got to RMA it, and yes, this thing, and it's.
And you didn't even drop it on the floor that much.
This is gonna be a nightmare. Like I can't.
I hate stuff without like a physical reason, right? Like what? Like it doesn't just because the software did something and it's broken forever. Like that's.
All I know is that the same thing happened to everybody else that talked about it, where their mic got super sensitive, and right now it's peaking. Like it's not even near me. I can't, and it's capturing everything at like the loudest level.
This is gonna be good. This
no,
audio
it's
is gonna come
be,
out good. It's all right.
I would say there's probably a higher than 50% chance this is going to be unsalvageable.
Here's the trick, though. We release them anyways. That's what I figured. I figured that out. Episode 1, just do it anyways.
Yeah, let's do it.
Speaking of doing things anyways, just forget your worries with the cool, refreshing glass of whatever movies you watched.
I don't want to. This is aggravating to me. I watched the Nice Guys this week. It was good. Russell Crowe and Ryan Gosling. I really liked it. No, I'm just not in a good mood, man. This is this is going to. I fully admit, man. I just can't. I can't put the mask on today. I'm just pissed. I'm just in a bad mood. The Nice Guys was good. The movie was great. Shane Black's a great director. I liked it. I watched VHS 2. Had one of the best head explosion, got shotgun to the head things that I've ever seen. That was cool.
VHS
2.
Okay.
It's just a horror anthology. A couple of the shorts were good. Like one or two of them were just not my
kind of like
taste.
The ABCs.
Yeah, but it's got instead of it just being about the following ABCs, it's there's a narrative around it.
It's just 3 letters, just the VHSM.
Yep.
Munch. No. Okay. Sorry. No, that's fine.
No, it didn't pop up in the movie.
Okay. All right. What?
That's it.
Okay. All right. I feel like my movies are just gonna make you angrier.
I doubt it.
Okay. Woman in Gold. It's about the Nazis. They stole all the Jews' houses.
Everything
and
is
all
about
their
the Nazis.
Artworks and stuff.
Yeah, it's what the Nazis do.
In Austria, and it's got Helen Mirren in it.
Do you like Helen Mirren?
She was good too, and her lawyer buddy is Ryan Reynolds.
I don't remember this movie at all. Does it take place in like current time, and then they're just prosecuting or something?
Yes, there's a little back and forth. It's actually handled pretty well. Like there's some flashbacks where she's thinking about her family. The Woman in Gold is what they renamed the painting. It was worth like $100 million. It ended up, a lot of these pieces of art ended up in Austria's public museums. So their argument, the government of Austria, being that it had since entered into the identity of Austria and its culture. So they were resisting returning these stolen artworks to their rightful owners. So yeah, it's the whole litigation. It's good. It's good. It actually, I thought I would get bored at times. It's another movie that's sat in my to-watch list for over a year or longer.
Yeah, I never even heard of it.
Yeah, it was good. It's good.
Fair enough.
All right.
Yeah, I'm sorry, man. I told you.
I'm telling you, that's the best one I watched. It's only getting worse from here on out.
And the back and forth today is not going to be great. I'm just so freaking aggravated, man. I'm in such a bad mood right now.
It's all right. I'm telling you, the Killing Joke.
The animated one? Well, obviously, because you're not listening to the band, I'm sure. Watching. I've spent 9 hours watching Killing Joke videos.
Is the band good?
They're pretty good. I like them.
Okay, definitely not that then, because this was a disappointment in pretty much every way.
Yeah, I heard that the whole intro part was just totally useless and trash.
What the...
They did nothing to actually build up Barbara to be worthwhile anymore.
No, well, they did. It's like they did... Yeah, I'm just angry. They made Batman and Batgirl have a relationship. Like, they do it on a roof, and then he goes away, and she leaves the messages on his bat phone that's like, it was just sex! And then they're supposed to have a connection. Like, see, they love each other.
Because they're bat people.
Yeah. And then when the actual thing that actually happens in the comics happens to her.
Right.
Like, Batman then wants to get the Joker.
Yeah, I don't know.
It was all just handled horribly.
I know that book has, especially now, a lot of people hate the book. Like, it's just become just
really?
It's because a lot of people didn't like how Barbara was treated, the implication of rape, all the stuff you can kind of imagine people not loving. It's kind of the stuff they don't love. It's like everything outside of the Barbara aspect, people enjoy the book for, but that aspect of it ruins the book for lots of people.
It's been a while since I read the book. I didn't even remember the book having the implication of rape. I know she was
there's
unclothed when she got shot. But
there's it's an interpretation thing. There are lots of people that have interpreted that he raped her. Others interpreted it that he liked to imply the rape, even though the Joker would never do that. Like, even that, and that's how I always looked at it, because as insane and as crazy as the Joker is, that was, to me, almost always one step too far for him. Like,
well, it doesn't fit. It's almost too premeditated, which I guess maybe isn't right either. But
that's the thing is, it's rape. Like, everything else he does to her in that case, to him, that's funny. Rape takes all of that, and it's not funny anymore, because
that's not very funny.
It's not. Well, it's not a joke to him at that point either, because first he paralyzed.
That's freaking
her.
It right there. Yeah.
Like, he paralyzes her, and then he lays her out, and he takes the photographs. That's all he would do, because that to him is the joke. The joke is that, well, yeah, he could rape her. He could do anything he wants to her now.
You, sir, are a scholar.
I guess.
No, and it's, well, okay, so take everything. I get people must be angry at that book, sure. It seems to me they took that rape implication and went with it in the, like, there's no implication in the movie at all.
No.
It's just like, no, I mean,
no,
they pretty much straight up say it. Yeah. Well, but I also feel like that book is still revered in a lot of circles. It's the one you hear about a lot, right?
Okay. It is. There's just, it's I guess more than anything, it's out of all of the actual Batman stories that involve anything, I guess, controversial.
Sure.
This is the one that's the most divisive.
Okay. Well, it's basically take all the good parts that you remember, and they're also just mangled in this movie. Like, there's a good back and forth. Well, okay, so I guess the crux of the book is a back and forth between Batman and Joker. Like, like, I've been thinking about where this all ends. One of us has to die, and then there's the back and forth at the very end where it's it's the Killing Joke or whatever. All of that just could not have been handled worse. Just total disappointment. I was hoping, I heard it was bad, but I was hoping it would be watchable for those parts at least, right? And I would be like, oh, this beginning part's done. But no, like, even it ruined everything.
Once they got to the point where he was like, where it was the actual story, that was what I thought. How do you screw that up? You have the two people that are most iconic in the voices.
Yeah.
You have
also the cast is great. Tara Strong is Tara Strong.
And Tara Strong, yeah. I think
still in there.
I think she. But you have.
She does Barbara actually.
That whole book.
There's no Harley. But.
That whole book. It's already storyboarded. What are you doing to screw up? Right? To screw that? Yeah. You don't even need. That's the thing with that book. You don't even need to storyboard your movie. It's done. Just excise the scenes you don't want to use. Like, out of every book, you know, people will rag on, and I love it. I love Watchmen. I think Watchmen is actually a really good movie. It's not the greatest movie. It's certainly not the best adaptation, but it is a good adaptation in my estimation.
It's a great adaptation because in what it we could go on forever. Okay, sorry.
But with that, there were enough things that you have to expound upon and you have to change things up. That makes sense. But this is one where, like, and if it were animated, why would you change any of it? If it's animated, then you don't need to change how Manhattan, like, what happens at the end. You don't have to change the fact that, yeah, it's stupid in some ways, but it's a giant space squid. You know, you don't have to change that if it's animated.
Right.
Why would they do anything to change one of the most, like you said, in many circles, most revered Batman books ever that people have been waiting for the animated version for? Like, this is one of those things where it's on a pedestal, it's on a silver platter to take the pedestal and move it from one medium to the other. And what did you do? You took the silver platter, you put it on the floor, you took a dump on it, you moved it onto a bronze platter,
spread it around a little bit.
Smashed it up into a bat sign,
and then some rape too,
and then throw some rape on top of it, like a piece of pepperoni. Like, you're just, I don't know, whatever.
Anyway, it's not like Batman animated movies have a bad track record. Like, I feel like there's people out there who be like, what do you expect? It's a cartoon of no, like the Dark Knight was really good. The even some of the one-offs
Mask of the Phantasm was awesome.
Oh yeah, even the animated series,
was from the animated series. But I mean, outside, I guess the past couple of, I don't know, maybe past 3 or 4 DC animated movies have not been very good.
The Son of Batman, I think. It was okay. It was great compared to this one still.
Well,
and that's another one that didn't pull necessarily from a direct book. I think they just pulled from mythology, generally speaking. Anyways, whatever. There you go. Happy birthday.
Good.
This next movie though. Okay, so the other thing I did this week was I went to and I talked about this a little bit in my video. We went to Universal Studios again because they sent us an email that was like, "Hey, you can't go at all during the summer, but we invite you to come on this day." They had a special showing for Ludo. It's a new animated from the guy who did Coraline. Henry Selick? Did he do Coraline?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
It looks good. Like, the stuff I've seen on it looks cool, and they were doing like a thing about it, and they had some props from his several movies of his and stuff like that. And it itself was being filmed for probably some promotional materials later on. Anyways, so they said we could go again, so we went. I screwed up the stream. I'm sorry, everybody. The chances are good we could do this tomorrow.
Don't bet on that. I'm sure that microphone won't work either. Probably my controllers are broken. My TV will explode. I'm going to lose a finger 10. Whatever. Fuck. I'm not going to PAX either, by the way. I quit.
So the rides we did, we finally did the Mummy. Super fun. We also did Transformers. Oh, here was the trick, by the way. My wife, because it's become that we go there. We get there around 11-ish anyways. So we always go on the tram first because my son freaking loves the shark and he loves sharks in general, and he's just a nut. Did he
get to be like closer up front and to the right?
We get good seats pretty much every time now. Yeah, we've gotten up, except for that the first time. I think we're always on the edge now. I'm trying to get in the second car. Yeah. On the right side, I haven't been able to nail that yet, but we can always get on the right side.
That like second and third car, I feel like, are the sweet spot for Jaws, at least.
Yeah, because he hops up, like there's a lull in between, and then he hops up for the third car again. So yeah, it's worked out great. Anyways, she was bumming on that because she's like, oh, it takes a long time, and I kind of agree. Like, most of that stuff is just really fun and interesting, but it is more of a tour than anything. So if you want to go on it,
Well, and the other thing is, like, I can imagine, like, I know that for me, I can go back anytime I want, and it's going to be the most fun for me. But you guys go on a regular basis now, so
it's getting to that point. Yeah,
it becomes a little rote until they change it up or something, you know.
So I go to this place called the American Express Lounge. Apparently, there's a place up front too, but I didn't think about it until this point. And got what's called a handicapped pass for my son. One of his, he doesn't have a diagnosis yet, but one of his symptoms is called hypotonia, which basically just means low muscle mass. So he
Oh.
literally, like, we have to start carrying him about halfway through the day because he can't walk and stand for that long. It's
Oh, all right.
it starts to hurt a little bit. So that's what I told them, and they were like, okay, sounds good. Here's a handicap pass, like no lines all day. Just right to the front. Some of them, they turn into fast passes where they're like, come back at this time. But then again, at that time, just walk right up. So I was, my wife, like if she had been considering divorce up till now, like she forgot about it for a little while at that point.
Nice.
It was pretty,
Yeah, no, when I come down to visit, I'll definitely have to have you.
Yeah. Dude, I'm not, it's the way to do it. I mean, there's a little bit, you feel bad for a little bit because even though we are completely justified, I don't feel bad about that at all.
You should not feel bad in any way. I would not feel bad, but that's because I don't care.
When you go to the front of the line, like, because you still walk by everybody in most instances. I feel a little bad.
No,
then.
see, when I do that, I always have a drink in my hand. I pull one of these.
You are waving kindly for the
with
viewers
my
at
middle
home.
finger.
Yeah.
Thankfully, one of the things I love about Universal is even right in front of the trams, you can buy beer. So, like, it's always
it's everywhere,
and not just little. They have the big giant beers too, like the 40-ounce ones.
Let's just take it a step further, man. Let's just bring a spray bottle. We can just be like, just in people's eyes as we walk by, like, sorry,
no, I'm sorry, I filled this with tequila.
Check out my kid,
super soaker.
Anyways, so we sailed through everything, and where this is all going is we ended up at the Transformers ride.
More than ECI.
It's the best Transformers ride or movie I've ever seen.
That's cool.
But it still made me sick to my stomach at the end of it because I mean, this time the chair was moving, but Transformers movies tend to do that anyways.
Right, but for different reasons.
For different reasons. And then we walk out, and my son, like, have you met my son? Have you actually met my son?
I've never actually met your kids.
Okay,
I've talked to them on FaceTime and stuff.
He's completely contagious. Like, you smile, he's excited at everything. Literally, the kid wakes up at 7 a.m. every morning. I've been there sometimes when he opens his eyes or, he takes a nap. He wakes up and then just the biggest grin because he's like, the world is back. And he goes nuts. That's literally, like every morning we have to go in there and be like, okay, don't be so happy for like 20 more minutes, please. Anyway, so the guy at the end of the Transformers ride sees him.
Please realize the world is a depressing place.
No, trust me. Nope, don't trust you at all. This is fantastic. He does a little dance that he has. He has a dance that he does, and the guy that saw us was like, "Oh, hey, cool, you're cool," and he's like, "You're cool too." He didn't say that, but essentially in so many words. So, dude pulls out two front of the line passes, which are like even better. They're like VIP passes. So now we have the handicap thing, and like these even more front of the line passes. So we were like, it was probably the best day we've had yet, but. It culminated in me going home and showing Transformers to my daughter.
That's a bummer.
So that was the other movie I watched.
You should have shown her the cartoon and just said, no, there is no real movie.
I thought about that after, too. I'm like, I guess it looks different. So she still has the connection.
You got to just break it immediately. I'm
like, now we can go back to the ride. I didn't tell. There's no sequels like in her world, so don't.
I'm never gonna tell her. Why would I? If I ever meet your daughter, no matter what age, I don't care if she's like 25 and she's like, "Hey, did my dad ever tell you about the sequel to Transformers?" No. What are you talking about?
You're calling CPS on me right now.
Are you kidding me? If you showed her the sequels, I would call CPS on you.
Anyways, I don't know what hasn't been said about that movie. It's still a weird thing to me because of who Michael Bay is. Did you ever watch that TV show that was like, it was a reality show but for
Baywatch?
directors? Yes. And he was fine in that show.
Yeah, well, I mean, anybody works well off of Hasselhoff. He was great in Mystery Men for his like 8 seconds.
Was Michael Bay in Mystery Men?
He was in Mystery Men.
Really?
He has a line in it too, I think.
What is he say? Who's he? I don't even remember.
So you've seen Mystery Men.
Yes, it's been a while, but yeah.
So when towards the end of the movie, when they're actually CeeLo Green is in the movie too.
This is getting better.
So at the end, when they're all at Frankenstein's castle thing, he's having a big dinner party. There's a whole bunch of different like factions of people There's the frat boys, the goody mob, which is where CeeLo is from. There was like a group of like it was like a ridiculous version of the Yakuza, and there's all these things. But then there's, like I said, there's these frat boys, and Bay is one of the frat boys, and he's sitting there. They've got like red shirts on. They all look like, they're wearing like Letterman shirts, and.
Awesome.
At one point, he says something like, "We must go to the disco room," and Bay goes, "Dude, can we bring the brewskis?" And Casanova Frankenstein looks back and he goes, "Of course you can bring the brewskis." It's Michael Bay.
And scene. All right. And is this before he directed it?
No.
The first thing he directed, right?
Was it wasn't The Rock?
No.
It was
the first good thing he directed.
That was The Rock.
Yeah.
I don't remember what his first thing was.
It was the Got Milk commercial where the guy is eating a peanut butter sandwich when he hears on the radio the trivia question of who shot
JR, Mr. Burns.
No, Alexander Hamilton, I think.
Oh. Lin-Manuel Miranda.
I believe it was Aaron Burr. Do you remember this commercial? And he's like, he can't say the word. He's like, Aaron Burr, but because he's eating peanut butter. The implication being, if he had milk, he would have been fine.
Right, sure.
That was Michael Bay's first directorial debut.
No, he had directed before. I think he had done a full movie or two before Mystery Men.
Okay. Anyways, he's a weird figure to me on his own.
He is.
Because in that TV show, that reality TV show, like he showed up as a judge a couple times, and was I guess maybe not surprisingly, but given the films I had seen from him up to that point, surprisingly knowledgeable in the area of cinema. Like, said some really smart and correct and awesome things.
It doesn't surprise me. I mean, I guess it's kind of one of those things with directors like him where I think he knows all he needs to know about making a movie. It's just that he wants to make the movies that he really likes watching.
Yeah.
And I think the end result is that it's not that he can't make a really smart... I mean, hell, Pain and Gain, that's a smart movie. That's a strong movie.
The Rock is still fantastic.
He was great.
Whatever,
Even Wahlberg was great in it. I mean, and it's a good flick, but he doesn't want to make like that. It's obvious that movie or that story spoke to him for a very good reason. And I think one of the things that he really likes is I think he really, really enjoys the whole hyper-masculinity thing.
You kind of get that feeling.
And that's fine. But I don't know if he like... I feel like he likes seeing it on screen because he grew up... I mean, and if you kind of think about the era that he grew up in an era where, when tentpole films weren't the thing yet. They were just starting, like probably when he was a teenager, but he was still growing up with larger than life people on screen. You get people like Brando. Sure. Was a monster on screen.
Yeah.
and everything that he did up until the point where he went insane. So circa Dr. Moreau.
Apocalypse Now, there's stories.
Apocalypse Now is a total nightmare, but
that whole movie actually.
But I think he just really likes seeing that hyper masculine, like it's almost like this is what Spartacus was. It's like he's trying to remake Spartacus every year because, and think about it
forever.
But
he's Sisyphus,
and it's actually I'm sorry,
the modern
Sisyphus. and not Spartacus, Ben-Hur. It's that modern epic filled with wonderful characters, beautiful women, and violence.
He didn't, by some crazy happenstance, make the new Ben-Hur that's coming out.
I don't think so, but
I just heard about that movie like 2 days ago.
Did you know the game that came out is free on Xbox and it's like 30 minutes and you can get your 1,000 gamer score out of it?
Ben-Hur?
Yeah, it's a trash game. It's really, really, really bad.
Go on.
But it sounds like something you would enjoy for achievements.
Yeah, you get the idea that Michael Bay at some point, like he's picked a style and he's gone with it, and he's probably the best at it. It's just that style is just patently offensive to me most of the time. Like that the high contrast, high saturation, like everything's shot in Miami, everybody's tan. Like I don't like that. The Transformers, getting back to actually that, like,
oh yeah, I guess we should
I like the Transformers came out great. It's super fun eye candy. Like in fact, the beginning of that movie, for all the way that it's shot, and the camera's always moving, right? You know, and Shia LaBeouf, which I don't actually have anything against, but is incredibly perfect for a hyper-cut Michael Bay film, right? It's my Shia LaBeouf.
That's good. It sounds just like him. You look like him when you did that.
Thank you.
Shia Beard LaBeouf.
Anyways, and then the action scenes happen, and it's like that movie reeks of having been written in post-production. Like after everything was shot and everything's in the editing bay / VFX booth, like this is where stuff had to be made up. You know, like the some of the interactions, like the whole them tiptoeing around the garden is one of the stupidest scenes in cinema of all time. It's this whole dance that doesn't match up.
But and I haven't seen it in a while, but I feel like Bumblebee does it the first time, and it's just him by himself for like a moment, and then they all eventually show up. But it's like you're kidding me, right? Like
they weren't.
We're
not.
I don't care what type of day it is. It's not like he lives on a farm. Like
no, it's that's not in that movie.
Until he gets back to making The Rock, I don't care.
It's supposedly working on Bad Boys 2, 3, or Bad Boys 3.
Yeah, I can't. Bad Boys Forever. I think that's.
I've never got into those films. Is that really? Yeah, sure. Because Batman Forever was something you want to reference. I don't have a ton against that actually, but
I don't.
I never got into them that much.
They're just like I don't. Let me put it this way. When we're talking about Danny Butterman, I'm definitely siding with him on Point Break a little more so than Bad Boys 2.
Okay. Right. That's pretty concise, actually. Okay. Hey, you know what? Not surprisingly, my 7-year-old thought Transformer was okay.
I believe it.
Transition to video games.
I played No Man's Sky. Still really like it. It's just everything. I can't even bother looking online about it anymore. Like I actually won't even bother clicking on articles about it because it's just a constant, like, I think the best phrasing I saw today was Sean Murray is a liar and a deceiver. That was okay. Okay. I mean, whatever. Man. I understand. I see why people are pissed. I see why people are annoyed or feel that it's not the game. And like, there's a great post on Reddit where a guy laid out everything that Sean Murray said you could do or that was possible, and that, and seeing the comparisons, yeah, it's a shell of that game. All right. I guess I'm just not going to lose my mind over it because all I wanted to do was explore space, and I can do that. Yeah, it's not the most lively world. That feeling I had the first night, I still have it when I explore things. When I find a new creature, I don't care how stupid it looks. I don't care that all of the assets are generated and then they're mashed into something. And yeah, it sucks that the creatures don't affect the terrain the way that we kind of thought it would.
They don't look like the E3 demo footage.
Yeah, but it's like if you're basing everything off of what an E3 demo looks like, you have never watched E3 and you've never played a video game. Like that's just that. I like it. I'm still exploring. I've only gone to my second system, and I've been just puttering around the worlds, and I love it. I love seeing the different planets and the different things, and it's fine what it is now. And I guess maybe this is one of those few times when I actually have some level of patience, because I think a lot of the things that he talked about, they will eventually figure out a way to either patch into the game or
they're still working on it.
Yeah,
very vocally still working on it. I'm
just whatever. People are just pissy about it, and
hey, you know what too? Like,
I see it. I just don't.
We're all part of the machine. Like the dude who goes out and makes lists like that to compare, Like, he's part of the machine that forces Sean Murray and other developers to go into interviews and say stuff like that. And because you're going to get mad at him no matter, you're all part of this whole marketing thing where a developer can't just start making a game, talk about what he hopes it can be, and then get crap for trying to do that.
Well, and like, what's funny to me is, like, there's a bunch of stuff, like, absolutely, there's no question that some of the video they showed, most of the video they showed, doesn't seem to exist now. Like, and that's fine. It was an earlier build, and it was a different build. It had different, everything about it was different. And yeah, they probably built those worlds and stuff for him to play in specifically for those demos because they wanted to show you what was possible. The other thing that gets me is that in most of those, like, the way I always looked at what Sean Murray was saying was he made quite a few definitive statements for sure, but there were a lot of times when they were not definitive and people take them that way. Like, it was a maybe he says maybe you could do this right now, you can. Yeah, and that was the other thing. There were a bunch of times where he qualified it. He said right now that's doable. That doesn't mean tomorrow it will be. It means right now they worked on something and it worked, or it was playable. But, like, it was never. I never took him to I don't think he's a liar. I don't think he's a deceiver.
You're a human being who can interact with other human beings in an acceptable manner.
Right. And I guess I feel like Sean Murray, I guess I don't disagree with what you said. I think that in some of those cases, people were pushing and pushing and pushing, and he was like, yeah, fine. That's possible.
That game is turned into an echo chamber and a half, man. Like, the build up, everything around it.
And now you're in one camp or the other. You either are absolutely livid about the game or you're fine with the game. There's no middle ground. It's you either hate it or it's okay.
There's middle ground. Those people are having fun with the game right now.
That's it's okay.
Yeah. Well, okay. Oh, okay.
So whatever. The PC version, I guess, is super broken.
Yeah, I saw that what's broke. I didn't look a lot of that up.
There was just
like, don't buy it right now, pretty much, or
right now at this moment, yes. Don't. I would say don't buy it. There were just a bunch of things that happened in the PC world. The frame rate issues were still cropping up. There were some option issues that just weren't. But it's the same game basically. It's just not. It's definitely better on the PC, and it will be better. It'll look better. The frame rates will be better. It's still just being worked on.
I feel like if you're getting hung up on a lot of some of these issues, like the graphical stuff, especially like the fact that the creatures don't map to the terrain like they did in the E3 video or whatever, I feel like you might also be missing a little bit of the point.
Possibly.
Like, that's, if you had to point to anything in that game or any game and say that's the game, that's not the game.
No, and I think like that's the other thing that I will say that one of the reasons I can't fault people for being angry about the game is because there were quite a few things that Murray did say that you can kind of see the echo of, but it's just not there. You know, like the battle, the fighting, the combat. There's no real combat. You can. It's not hard. The space battles, like big giant space battles. No, not so much.
The rubber had to meet the road on that thing. I think in a lot of places,
absolutely. And there were without a doubt there were choices made, and yeah, those choices piss people off. I think again, a lot of that stuff can be added in later on, and I'm sure some of it will be.
Yeah, I do not doubt it at all.
Is it gonna be the game that everybody expected it to be or wanted? I don't know.
Probably not. No.
Probably not. This game was it was at this point almost doomed from the start. And that's from an not necessarily from a sales but from an attitude perspective.
Yeah, for the people I think we're talking about.
This was episode 1 for video games. I'm serious. Think about it. Think about that comparison.
Wait until No Man's Sky episode 2.
So other thing, Murray had mentioned that you know, it's not a multiplayer game. It was never billed as a multiplayer game. It was always said that, yeah, you could potentially see other people, but it's not a guarantee. Day one, 2 people figured out how to find each other, and they did, and they couldn't see each other in the same spot, and you could even see that their times were out of sync. So they were very clearly in their own instances on different servers somewhere. And so that's become a huge issue. And Sean Murray, you know, he thinks he said he thinks he knows what the glitch is and what the problem is, and they'll work on that too.
Yeah, this is from him. This is a series of tweets. It says, 2 players finding each other on a stream in the first day. That has blown my mind. We added a scan for other players in the galactic map to try to encourage this happening. We wanted it to happen, but in the first day? Question mark. I inflected it for you. It says, we want people to be aware they are in a shared universe. We added online features and some Easter eggs to create cool moments. We hope to see those happening, but too many of you are playing right now, more than we could have predicted. It is a testament to how amazing our network coders are that discoveries are still working at all. For instance, overnight we hit 10 million species discovered. That's more than has been discovered on Earth. What is going on? So yeah, he basically cites server issues as probably some of the issues. Basically, there is some sort of interaction that should happen when you see somebody, even if they've stopped billing it as a multiplayer game.
Right.
Something should have happened, and it didn't happen here. So
and they recognize that, and it's unfortunate. But the other thing that's kind of
also ironic if the solution is for less people to play the game, so that
the other thing that's kind of I've been kicking around in my head with this, and again, this is just me. I wonder if a lot of that stuff, like including the meeting other players, was things they were like, okay, we know we can do it, we know how to do it. We don't have time to implement that right now, but we can get the game out the door. Let's get the game out the door with a little feature light, because people aren't going to need any of that stuff for a while. Right. So maybe, and I mean, we know that right after they posted that photo of the game going gold, that they were working on their first update, and they've been releasing the update piecemeal to fix the PC stuff. So it's something, man. I don't know. I would still say
nothing.
I think for you,
no man's.
I think for you, I think you'd probably really enjoy the game. I don't know if
I have no doubt I still would. Yeah, no.
I don't know if you get bored with it, but you know, odds are you're gonna have a chance, because it sounds like there was some little stuff that during an interview where somebody actually asked Murray about the game coming to Xbox.
Really?
And he had a very weird answer where he said, I don't really know how much I can say about anything, and then he got cut off by the Sony rep. Sony never published the game. This is an indie game. They own it. They own the IP.
No kidding.
Hello Games owns the IP, and they published it. Sony just helped with marketing.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing that...
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me at all, but yeah, there has been no word on that yet, and that is very...
This has been something that has been questioned pretty much since launch, and Sean Murray has said the same thing over and over. I can't talk about it. Sony's been great, though. It's always led to this is a timed exclusive, and I'm willing to bet that in their tiny little, like one of the things Hello Games as a small indie company signed off on was, we're going to give you the timed exclusivity,
but no way are they borrowing it from other consoles. Yeah, I know.
But you are not allowed to ever mention that it's going anywhere else or that it's timed.
Yeah.
I'm willing to bet that was in the contract, and that Hello Games was like, we're going to make a ton of money off of... We're going to be able to advertise, and we're going to get a huge push. Yeah, I'll sign that.
And it's a game that, I mean, because of the way whatever little multiplayer there is does work, like, it's automatically cross-platform, right? It's just...
Pretty much,
There's no reason why. Like, there would be no Xbox universe and a PS4 universe. Like, there's...
So that
there's
is
no
one
PS4
thing...
and no PC universe, right?
Yes,
they're not separate.
there is.
Yeah.
They are.
Oh, really?
Those are separate.
Oh, come on. Serious?
Yes.
That seems like it would be too easy to parse. Like, just okay.
I don't know. I guess they want to give everybody the quintillion planets.
He's getting greedy. Too many
keep your ear to the grind. Or
okay. I would actually. I don't know if I would get it if it came out on Xbox, because I was not I don't know why I said it like a Swedish person. Xbox. I don't know even know if a Swedish person says it like that. Hey, I don't, because I was actually serious that I would, if there ends up being a VR version of it, and I am very much interested in PSVR, like,
Sure.
I would probably still wait to see if that was something that happened, and then I would buy it for the PS4 for that reason.
It's good. Makes sense.
That's what we do on Zero Hit Points.
Makes sense.
We make sense.
Yeah, and then I played Overwatch.
We both played Overwatch. These last two we actually played together.
Yeah, I was going to play some VR stuff this weekend, and I just ended up having life get in the way.
Oh no, you mean non-virtual reality?
Yeah, I had to play in stupid real reality. That was dumb.
That is literally some of the worst controls I think that I've ever seen.
Yeah, no, it's awful, and the NPCs are just the worst.
The camera is constantly an irritation.
Yeah. And I don't know about you, but I have
bad.
all sorts of weird physics glitches where things get stuck in weird places.
Yes. It clicked later.
How is Wolfenstein?
2 out of 5 stars. I did play more Wolfenstein, and I don't think I need to talk about it a ton other than to say...
Watch your Monday video.
It's real good. Yeah, that would explain
It's really good, right? Like,
it's
really
good.
Playing that, you can see the iteration into Doom. Like, you can see that they were like, okay, we've kind of got that groove back. Let's do Doom now.
Yeah, actually. Totally. I want to say Machine Games still did much of the heavy lifting on this, as opposed to id.
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah. Anyways,
I don't know. It's a great game.
It's a really good game. Then yeah, we played some more Overwatch. I don't know if we have any actual things to add to that as far as our own experiences go.
I don't know.
I'm still on Hanzo.
I think I had my first really good couple of games with Reinhardt since the beta.
Oh, that's right. You've been doing Reinhardt lately. Why did that actually happen? I was going to
ask. Actually, the whole reasoning behind Reinhardt is that I have an in-game currency issue. When I have it, I want to spend it. And so I've been sitting on enough for any skin that was available in game, and kept going back and forth between a few characters, and they're characters that I really like the skin on, but I don't play them. And Reinhardt was the very first character I picked up when the beta came out. And so I just decided I really liked that one Reinhardt skin, and so I bought the skin. And
what would you call that? Is that kind of
I don't remember what it's called. It's like it's not Stoneheart, which is the one I have that he doesn't have the helmet on. It's something.
It's like a real Dark Knight looking thing.
It kind of reminds me of like a combination of the Sauron prior to being just an eyeball and somebody else. I don't know. But I got
kitchen knives.
I got my first play of the game with Reinhardt, I think, in a long, long time, and it was a good one.
I kept wanting to see that with your skin on. Did I forget about that already?
I don't know. Probably. I recorded it.
Okay.
So that's there.
All right.
There's some Overwatch news just earlier today. Great. They talked about the new map. That was cool. They dropped a trailer for Eichenwald.
It's a long trailer for a map.
It is, and it's got a lot of... I'm wondering if there's some Sombra stuff in there.
Maybe that's why, They probably filled it full of stuff.
It's cool, though. I'm excited.
Where Bastion's from.
No,
it is. I bet you $1 zillion. It's where Bastion's from. It says, okay, I'll just read it.
No, I know that Bastions were there, but that's where Reinhardt's from. It takes place in a German village. That's where it's where the Omnic crisis occurred, where one of the major battles of the Omnic crisis and the Crusader armored German military made
during
final
a live
stand.
Stream, Blizzard described, this is from Polygon, Eichenwald as the only reason I got that is because of Wolfenstein.
Wolfenstein.
As the birthplace of the robot Bastion.
Oh, all right. Well, we're going to find out, I guess, on Thursday, because Thursday they release the next animated short, which is called The Last Bastion, and I'm going to guess that is definitely... I mean, there's no question who that's about. It's clearly about Roadhog.
Okay.
So, Zarya is headed to Heroes of the Storm along with Tracer. That's going to happen at the next big event thing for Heroes of the Storm, and she'll be playable by everybody, and then we'll be in the game, and you can enjoy Russian power because it's good.
Where can I download Heroes of the Storm? I'm in. Let's do it.
On Blizzard.net.
I'm out.
You are out. And then
maybe next time.
Bunch of details for season 2 of the competitive. There's lots of stuff. This is just some quick hitters. The one hero limit staying. If you gain a tier up until Diamond, Master, and Grandmaster, as long as you're not in any of those 3 tiers, once you hit that tier, you will never lose the tier. You can drop to the bottom of the tier, but you will never bottom out. You can even drop below that tier. But as long as you hit, like if you hit gold from silver, and then you drop down to what silver should be, you're still in the gold tier.
I'm shedding a tier, trying to follow the...
It's not that bad. They also changed the skill level, so instead of 0 to 100, it's like 0 to 5,000 now. I think that was what it is.
Okay.
Diamond, Master, and Grandmaster, while you won't lose your total, you will lose total rank there. You can drop from Grandmaster down to Diamond. You will never go below Diamond.
I'll go below Diamond.
I bet you will.
Below me.
Yeah. If the other thing with that particular bit is when you are in those top tier echelons, you have to play the game. You don't have to play it every day. You don't have to play, you don't have to play every day. You don't have to play for 25 hours a week or anything. But you do have to play on a somewhat regular basis. Otherwise, you will have skill decay. And if you go for, I think he said over a week without playing, it'll be 500 skill subtracted from your total skill level every day you don't play.
Okay.
It's interesting. I can see why that might be something that pisses some people off.
I wonder if they were having problems with drop off before.
Hey, guess what? Don't go on vacation if you care about that.
Okay.
So there's a thing. Ties will exist because the coin toss is gone. But they will be very, very, very rare. To get a tie at this point, it's really only going to occur on payload maps. The only way to get a tie, from my understanding on this, is neither team can make the first point. If both teams fail at getting to that first checkpoint, there's a tie.
Okay.
So it's great news.
And then everybody wins.
And then everybody's a winner if you're a tie. I want to be a Windsor knot. That's
regal.
Thank you.
I'll see what I can do.
All right. That's it though. That's Overwatch for now. I'm looking forward to that short on Thursday. I'm actually
those are fun. Yeah, that'll be cool.
Yeah.
I wish they would do, if anybody could do it, they could do, like, remember back in the day when a Michael Jackson video would come out?
I do.
Yeah, they should just do it like that. Like, it shows up on CBS. It does we have the little special graphic.
The world premiere.
Yep.
Yeah. Do you remember when they did that for the song Black and White? And it was a huge, huge deal because Macaulay Culkin was in it. But also the morphing technology.
Yeah.
That was the big deal.
Yeah. And then he got on a car and yelled for a bit.
And then he smashed stuff.
He did.
And then they used that same technology to a lesser successful video for Remember the Time, which starred
True.
Eddie Murphy and Iman.
That's right.
And he morphs into a tiger, I think, or a lion. I think it's a tiger.
If I ever meet Iman, I'm gonna be like, Iman, my man, and then
if you ever meet Iman, you will probably be so stunned by her beauty that you will not know what to say, and then you'll just look at her and go, David Bowie, and she'll smack you.
Yeah, I was to say, didn't she go? Yeah,
she was married to David Bowie. Her son directed the Warcraft movie.
No kidding. Did not know that.
Duncan Jones is David Bowie's son. Duncan Jones did Moon and Warcraft.
Whoa.
There's your mind. It just exploded.
That's I heard Warcraft didn't do great. Did that actually come out?
It did.
Okay. That answers that question. We also played Pokemon Go. Some more of that this week.
We did.
I only have one thing to add. Do you have a thing to add? No. Okay. Well, don't add anything.
Okay.
So it's this weird thing where I find myself enjoying that game more and more for everything that it's not.
Yeah, honestly, it's the only thing that bugs me about the game at this point is I am a little sick and tired of that CP10 Pidgey that takes 5 balls to get. Like, that's stupid.
I'm back. I did the thing you told me to do with the do my lucky egg when I have a bunch saved up and then evolve everything.
Yeah.
I've done that twice and I'm like 18 and a half right now. Level 18.
Yeah. It's the way to go. I actually just inventoried I have 200 and something, I think, Pidgey candy.
Jeez.
And
now the hard part is saving up enough Pidgeys to use all that candy.
Dude, I had them and I just ditched. I seriously just nuked them all just recently. And I'm close. I'm like 175 in Paris candy too. And not Paris Hilton, but the little crab thing. No. Which related to Paris Hilton possibly.
That's not far off. Yeah, okay. No, it's seriously weird because I'm like, I get to the point, I have all these ones saved up. We kind of just do it whenever we hop in the car. I give it to my daughter and she does it while I'm driving. Like, she's loving it. So it's kind of just everything that surrounds it. Like, it's turned into like family time. Where again, if you're doing it right, you don't have to look at the screen. You put it in your pocket and you walk around the park till it buzzes at you, and then you all get to catch one, and then you do that for a little bit more. Like, I've got a lucky egg, so I'll be like, hey, you want to go to the park, and I'll put on my lucky egg for 30 minutes, and we'll just hang out at the park for 30 minutes while the kids, play on the thing, and we'll
put on your lucky egg, put on your incense, drop a lure.
Actually, that was a question. Can you lure an incense at the same time? Does it do anything?
You can.
Huh.
I have no idea. As far as I know, it should, because the lure is going to lure for everybody. The incense just for you. It should stack
logically.
But then again, things that Niantic does, not necessarily logical. So whatever. Hey, but guess what? They're rolling out their first ban wave because that matters.
I did not read that actually. The thing I did, I read the positive thing. So you go. Yeah, I guess this is positive too, though.
Yeah, if you're cheating, you're getting banned.
Okay.
There's a cool little glitch right now. That's one way to do it. There's a cool glitch right now that people are going to get banned for very quickly. So don't do it. But I guess in New York, people are putting eggs. They figured out a way to put an egg in a gym. The problem with that is that eggs have no hit points and they can't attack. So you can't attack the gym. It just sits there gaining defensive points day in, day out.
Oh, no kidding. Oh, okay. So I thought it would just be like a troll at the end, but they're actually it's a troll. No,
it's a troll because nobody else can do anything about it.
But they're still benefiting from it, other than watching people not be able to do anything. Hey, speaking of gyms, I actually won my first 2.
Me too.
In fact, the reason I did, I didn't. I willfully ignore like entire parts of this game until like I've learned everything else enough, and I'm like, what is this power up thing? And my wife's like, oh, if you do that, like I didn't get that it permanently increased the power of your Pokemon. I thought it was just like a one-time thing to power them up for a fight.
Yeah, the main reason not to do that is, again, this just comes down to levels and stuff, is there is almost a certainty that unless whatever creature you're powering up is already in the thousands somewhere, it's probably not worth it.
Yeah, so I got my first 1,000 when I hit, I think, 16 or 17. Nice. And then I just went crazy and powered him up as much as I could. And I think it's still, like, it still depends on your level. Like, it says I can't power him up for the last little tick because I'm only 18. But I now have a 1,500 Arcanine and a 1,500 Flareon. Yes. And I use those to actually win at something.
I have, my highest now is like an 1150 Flareon. Nice.
Is that totally powered up, or is that just...
I've got like 1 tick left on it.
Okay. Cool.
And that was, I used that guy. That's the guy that I put in the gym. Daisy had a thing this weekend, a concert that she had to play in.
So while you were waiting, this was...
Because it was all at a park. Yeah. So
nice.
Beth and I walked around the park and got Pokestops, and there were a couple gyms, and there were so many people there. The gyms were constantly fighting. They were always under fire.
I can only imagine at a park where a child's event is going on.
And keep in mind, she's 15. All of the people around her that are in the band are between the ages of 13 and 18.
Yeah, they're doing it too.
All of them have phones, right? So between them, and then it was a Sunday, so all the regular
nobody
park patrons,
is there doing anything they want to do.
So I watched this one gym that was right next to our where we parked. I kept watching it, and I waited for it to finally, like, where people weren't attacking it left and right.
Mm-hmm.
Walked over to it. There were only 2 Pokemon left, so I killed them. Took over the gym. A guy immediately added his Pokemon to it, and then one more. And we held that gym for almost an hour and a half.
Yeah, that same here. I think I got home because this was at the post office where the gym was. By the time I got home, my dude was gone.
There's a really funny Pokestop or a gym that's up on a walking path, a bike path behind my house, and it is right behind and right in front of 2 people's houses. And there's there's rows of houses, but there are 2 that are directly in front of it and behind it, one directly in front, one directly behind. And they clearly have a perfect line to it because that gym has never changed since this game started. It's on like level 8 now.
Oh, jeez.
And like, I've seen people beat it.
How did the levels go up? Just by losing?
By time. Yeah, it's beating the battle. It's winning battles and then by time. So the longer it's there, the more levels it gains. And the more levels it gains, the more people can add Pokemon to it.
I actually Pokemon for the entire tram ride at Universal Studios. I posted, there was one picture that I did find. I thought I lost it, but I don't know why. It's the set of the Grinch.
It's so
but
funny.
The Pokestop reads in Spanish. Like my phone wasn't in Spanish. The game isn't. It was just that one stop is called El Set del Grinch. That was it. But I got in a gym. I got my first 900 Flareon while I was on the tram ride, and then I immediately put it in a gym that was on the ride, thinking this might be semi-rare, but it wasn't. Like, he was gone before I was done with the tram ride. So they just back in your inventory, completely dead. Like, hey, I'm back. That's
go to hell.
I don't know. I don't think I did anything.
You probably didn't gain anything.
Okay. Pokemon Go. It's going to continue to go.
We Pokemon went. Now let's Pokemon go on to the news.
That's good. I didn't even put that in there, and it's natural. Though maybe the one news item we could mention also with Pokemon Go is apparently there's a beta test going on for the new tracking system that's going to be put in the game.
Right.
So that could conceptually happen at some point.
I'm glad we're beta testing.
Well, it explains a lot of stuff, at least. Like, they're doing basically what Pokevision was doing in some ways. So it's kind of, you can understand more why they wouldn't just be like, yeah, sure, go ahead and do it. Not, we've actually been working on something ourselves on our own game for months now.
I imagine they were not working on anything like that. They saw it and they were like, all right, build it. Let's shut these guys down, take their idea.
That's true, because they did have the one that was just broken. So you got to wonder how soon they decided to replace it with something that works.
Yeah.
Let's go on to the news. This couldn't possibly last very much longer than a couple minutes.
Hopefully. Let's make this whole thing the lightning round.
Most of these are quick. Like there's this one's a rumor, so why would we talk about it?
PlayStation Now.
Yeah.
Going to PC. That could be huge for Sony. Anyways, as a moneymaker, that's huge. It's huge for PC gamers too, because you get the chance to play things like Uncharted, The Last of Us, things that just never were going to go to PC.
Yeah.
That could be exciting for a lot
Sony
of...
Sony hasn't had as close a relationship with the PC as Microsoft, obviously. So, this is almost completely new ground for him.
Right.
Seems freaking smart. Yeah. Why wouldn't they?
It does. So we may hear about this on and or around August 23rd.
No, the rumor is that it's coming out August 23rd?
Yeah, I'm guessing we're going to hear, if anything, we'll hear about it. Gamescom is this week. So
yeah, a lot of these items are going to be from Gamescom, actually, we should mention.
And then Fallout 4 dropped the Nuka-world trailer. We posted that on our Twitter and Facebook page. It comes out August 30th. Looks great. That looks like the first DLC for Fallout 4 that I am actually interested in.
It looks freaking great. It does.
Rides, all sort. Like I like that there's they had like a Gravitron that had a whole bunch of ghouls in it that couldn't run forward because they were stuck as it was turning.
Yeah.
That was pretty funny.
I wish this was a standalone, man. I would literally buy this as a standalone.
I think a lot of people would, yeah. It's a good one. Also, August 30th, The Witcher Complete Edition comes out. So if you want to play The Witcher, do that. It's good, I guess.
In its completeity.
Yeah, in its completeity.
Darksiders, that's your next one. Darksiders 3, the completeity edition.
The complete tired edition.
That worked out.
They also mentioned the Gwent beta has been delayed to August 25th. So if you were hoping to play the Gwent beta sooner, I'm glad to disappoint you.
Yeah, so you can play Gwent in the Game of the Year edition of The Witcher 3 before you can play Gwent in the normal outside.
I'm looking forward to learning about Gwent. I actually kind of want to boot The Witcher up just to learn Gwent.
It's catching fire. I guess, I don't know. People seem to like it.
Halt
I agree.
And catch fire.
Also, hey, you know what else got delayed though?
Also with card games, Final Fantasy 15 was delayed to November 29th.
Let's not get lost in the positivity of all these delays.
No, and let's also not do that.
Look how fantastic. Well, I guess the other one, the Gwent, they're just delaying the open beta.
The beta,
I guess
yeah. I can't.
Probably goes along with the delay for the game, but
that's fine.
Either way, it means they're working on the game. Look how much they're going to work on Final Fantasy 15 now. Dude, they're going to work on it all the way up till November 29th.
And hey, guess what? I wasn't going to buy this, but now I am because they delayed it.
Because they delayed it.
So it's probably going to be really good.
You know it's going to be better than it would have been whenever it was really supposed to come out. I have no idea.
Hey, I have a question for you.
Okay.
Would you like to play privately with me?
Are we talking about Destiny or Uno?
It's your Destiny.
Okay.
I'm not talking about the game.
Still no.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess on September 20th, Destiny the Collection, which, hey, guess what? You remember that $60 you spent not only on Destiny, but then the other $60 you spent on the Taken King on top of the other $60.
I'm a smart shopper.
Somebody spent on the season pass. Well, guess what? You can do it all over again. Spend another $60 for Destiny the Collection on September 20th. We'll have everything. You can use it right away. It will come with the code for the Rise of Iron, so you too can lose your head like Ned Stark.
Maybe the most disappointing thing is that they didn't just call this the Destiny Game of the Year Edition 2.
Electric Iron. I don't know. They're also finally introducing private PvP matches. So thankfully, 2 years after the game came out, the thing that people wanted is now a thing.
Yeah, you can get an idea for the numbers Destiny must be experiencing at this point.
I'm guessing pretty dull, pretty minimal.
I'm hoping actually because I did the GameStop had a thing going on where you just gave them your other Destiny, and then you gave them.
That worked out well, didn't it?
You backed away from the computer.
I was trying to crack my back against.
Did you crack your back at least?
I didn't.
Okay. Well, the one thing you did do was pull. It was like somebody came below your desk and just tugged on your earbuds real quick, and just zip, and they were gone. Anyway,
your reaction was priceless.
GameStop did a thing. It's like you were doing a shtick. You're like, look at this one. This is the one where my headphones disappear real quick. And then, anyways. They had a thing where you just gave them your old Destiny and then like $20, and then they gave you the Taken King disc or something like that.
Yeah, no, that's what it was. I don't remember if it was $20.
But I'm into that. But like if I can give them my old disc and they'll give me this thing for $20, I don't know. Does this have a disc version? I guess is the first question. I feel like a lot of it's digital.
Okay. No, I believe this is a full disc. Like I think it's both, but I don't know. I'm
Destiny.
Get
private with Destiny. Hey, the two games that did come out of Gamescom that we could spend just hours talking about.
Well, at least one of them we can spend hours with. The other one I'm not so much into. Talking about for hours, I mean.
Oh, okay. That's not surprising. Yeah, I know you're into one of these more than the other.
Yeah, I'm into the one that you're into way more than I am the one that I'm into.
So now I don't even know which one I'm into. The
Nice
Battlefield
and
1.
mixed signals. Okay, here's the thing with Battlefield 1.
Okay.
So they detailed how the horses work. That they're going to act like tanks in the way they spawn.
Really?
Yeah, no, they're invincible.
Okay. Gotcha.
No, and actually, similarly,
They literally make the sound as they're going down the battlefield.
Here's the thing. I am
just out right at the top of the head.
I can be a little overly sensitive to animals being injured in media, movies, games. It's something that actually bothers me. I don't like, especially dogs and horses.
No, that's that 0 hit points have taken a particular and accidental and unavoidable affinity to horses.
The equinalizer is an important part of our history.
Lives.
So, finding out that the horses are spawnable in the same way that like you can you can spawn in a tank, or you can spawn on like right on top of a Jeep or whatever. Same thing. You can spawn on a horse. You can attack from the horses with a rifle. You can use swords and stuff. You can actually run people over with the horses. What I was, again, concerned about was the whole, you keep seeing the horses fall down and stuff in the trailers, and they tumble and they get shot, and I just didn't want to see that. Thrilled to find out that they explode. So it's great.
Are you serious?
I wish.
Oh.
That would be the Michael Bay version of
Come
Battlefield
on.
1.
Yeah, no, that's...
Horse gets shot, you hear a little gas leak, and then it explodes.
Missed opportunity.
Which leads me to the one of the few moments in the movie Caddyshack 2 that is worthwhile is Jackie Mason's on top of this giant like Clydesdale, and he and Robert Stack and Diane Cannon are all they're at a
Love that cast.
they're at an arena to do jumping, and at one point his horse is moving around and just keeps farting, and it jumps and it farts this nasty fart, and Robert Stack goes, "Your horse seems to have a bit of a gas problem," and Jackie Mason in his just exceptionally thick New York Jewy accent, "It's not the horse." Amazing. Not a good movie.
One of the greats.
I do like that movie a lot for many bad reasons.
And that's how horses work.
And that's so they did detail how the horses work. They went through all the veterinary medicines and the skeletal structure. It was
you can drop packs. It seems
for some reason, I don't know why EA decided to bring a veterinary, like an equine vet, up on stage to talk about horse biology, but whatever.
Did they really? I don't know what's real anymore.
No.
Did that? Okay.
No. They detailed how the horses work in game.
I feel like that's not out of the realm of possibility. Like, here's The Rock and a horse veterinarian to present Battlefield 1.
That makes sense. Well, it'd be Terry Crews, because whatever. 64-player beta comes out August 31st.
Lots of trailers kicking
Lots of trailers. Yeah, it looks good. I think
it shows real well. Like, all of this looks fantastic. They're really good trailers, too. Just well made. And
yeah, I'm actually looking forward to... Like, I said this already. I'm looking forward to Battlefield 1 way more than I am Call of Duty. And a huge chunk of that does come from the time period in general. Like, I'm actually interested in World War I.
Sure.
Way more than I am in stupid space battles that I could have in a billion different games.
I don't know what you're referring
to. Space battles.
Yeah, one of the trailers had to do with vehicles. I guess they're doing a gameplay series of trailers, and the first one had to do with vehicles. Mm-hmm. So there's interviews thrown in there and all that. But again, shows real well.
The interviews were pretty cool. Like, they did have some pretty good questions. Like, are there vehicles? And the answers were yes.
Here's a trailer.
What kind of vehicles?
Look,
horses and tanks and a train.
Here's your first vehicle, horse.
Mm-hmm. Here's your second vehicle, smaller
sword,
horse.
Smaller horse.
Here's your third vehicle, broomstick. Battlefield 1 is introducing witches.
It's now a Harry Potter game. This is synergy.
I'm going to play Quidditch right in the middle of Africa.
And yes, I'm sorry I interrupted you. The 64-player open beta coming to everything under the sun except for your old consoles. Throw them away.
And thankfully, they're bringing that out at perfect time when a whole bunch of people are at PAX. So you should have no problem getting into it.
Really? Well, I guess so, huh? August 31st.
2 days later. 3 days later, I guess.
Okay. If you're EA Access, you get access earlier.
Let's talk about the thing you're more excited about. That I'm even more excited about.
So, are you more excited? I guess maybe I was confusing it. Okay.
No. When it comes to Call of Duty and Battlefield, there's no fight. This one and Battlefield, still no fight. It's this one.
But this one, Titanfall 2.
Absolutely.
Also shows just freaking incredibly well.
I will say arguably this Respawn learned what to and how to show Titanfall off by leaps and bounds with this stuff.
I mean, Titanfall 1
and it was
showed
good.
real well, but it was
no,
more of just once you got your hands on it. Like, remember PAX? Like, that was the game at PAX.
It was amazing. Yeah.
It was, everybody was, and that was the year we got help from friends, so we rubbed noses with a lot of more inside people that year, right?
Yeah.
And all of them, same thing. Man, I got to get back to Titanfall. Did you play Titanfall yet? Like, going back there, I myself waited in line for it like 4 times. I want to say I played that thing.
Yeah.
It was.
I know you were there. You were more than I was. I think I only played it once, actually.
Yeah, it might just be me, but a lot of people were into it.
But Titanfall 2, I'm not taking anything away from that first game. I'm just saying leaps and bounds learning how to promote this game. Because it was, that first set, it did play off a little bit more like a Call of Duty advertisement. Which was fine. That was Respawn's first thing. That's what they knew. And then, now they've been working on Titanfall for a while, so now they're just able to put out better material this time, I think, promotion-wise, showing off more of what you can do, more of what the game is.
I think a lot of that had to do with the fact that it does have this single-player aspect now. Like, that
very well
automatically gives them gorgeous footage, like narrative footage, like set-piece footage, like they pioneered with Call of Duty, when this is freaking them.
Yeah.
But yeah, a ton of stuff came out about the single player. There's a trailer about the single player. You are going to be Jack Cooper, a grunt-level rifleman in the Frontier Militia. Has aspirations for one day becoming a pilot under the tutelage of Captain Lastimosa. And there's a bunch more on it, but basically, your name is Jack.
Don't ever touch the last mimosa. It's mine. Did you watch the multiplayer tech test trailer?
That also looks freaking amazing. And starts on Friday, and it's open. So this is ask me what I'm going to be playing next week.
What are you going to be playing next week?
Uno.
That's pretty good. We'll talk about that later.
Titanfall 2 open beta tech alpha.
Just keep adding words to it.
Bruno.
EX
series.
Championship. Hudson Hawk.
Pac-Man.
.org.
It looks really good, and we're going to play that as well, I would imagine.
We will.
That's Friday through Sunday, so it's not terribly long, but
long enough to test your technicals.
And I want it.
So,
2.
Now,
in stores now.
I have yet to actually watch this show. I have this show waiting for me in a queue. I have not watched it. I know you're into this show. You like Mr. Robot.
One of my favorite shows at the moment. Yeah, Mr. Robot.
One of your favorite shows. So Mr. Robot, I have a hard time not wanting to watch the show. I unabashedly love Christian Slater. I think Jack Nicholson Jr. has been wonderful for the entire time I've watched him. He was great when I could see his wiener in The Name of the Rose with Sean Connery and F. Murray Abraham and Ron Perlman. And he was great when I couldn't see his wiener in the movie Mindhunters.
True Romance.
No wiener. Good movie. Tony Scott, written by...
decent review mechanic, actually.
And no wieners. Yeah. Do you remember who wrote True Romance?
Rodriguez or Tarantino?
Tarantino.
Yeah, okay. I get it.
Tarantino's flick, Tony Scott directed, Christopher Walken knocks it out of the park.
Yeah, no, good stuff. It's uncanny once you mention Jack Nicholson Jr., like you can't unsee that. Like every time he says a word now, it's if you haven't made that connection yet, your life is over now.
Well, if you haven't made that connection yet, you're about 20 years too late, because that connection was made like in 1985. But Telltale supposedly they've been dropping some hints here and there about doing a Telltale Mr. Robot game, and
they tweeted a link to, or they tweeted the video that showed up on one of the Mr. Robot videos itself. And there's no official announcement. It's just that they did something on their Twitter that was
kind of weird. And my understanding of the show, this might actually be something that Telltale can work, maybe not direct angle into the show, but on a back angle, kind of like they did with Game of Thrones.
That would be freaking awesome. Like, okay, I mean, like the idea of a game like would be interesting, but it's kind of like we've talked about Telltale games enough, and I think I'm still kind of experiencing that fatigue. Like I feel a twinge with the Batman one. I think that could be interesting, but when I think about going through the actions, and it's
no, and that's why that's keeping, honestly, it's the Batman is a property that I'm sure works well for them. It's not one I want to play.
But if they're doing something like interactive or weaving it into the show somehow, because the way the show works, that could be they could do something crazy now. Right now, I'm
so excited. If you think about, like, I mean, you don't necessarily know this off the top of your head, right? But the Game of Thrones game uses characters from the show and from the books, whatever, but they're the actors. But they wound the story around a house that isn't portrayed like anywhere. They could totally do that, and it works. It works within the boundaries of the story, because they already knew what the boundaries were. They knew how far they could go with what, and what was kind of going to happen with the houses that were in the stories. So they could do the same thing here, as long as you don't drive the narrative based on what's his name, Rami
Malek, I think.
Malek, his character, or any of the main characters. You base it either off a third, like a super secondary character or non-existing character, but you weave it into the back end of the story so it fits.
See, not even that. I'm thinking something even more nuts, like part of an episode takes place in the game and is showed during the episode. Like they would do weird stuff like that. Like they deal very much in.
It would be cool to see almost a live version. Something
like that, yeah. Like something really, really weird. There's a lot of headspace in that show.
I'm looking forward to watching it. We've
literally and figuratively, actually, the way it's filmed. Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
We'll have to come back to it when you start watching it. I'd be happy talking about that some more.
Now, are you totally caught up? Are you on like whatever season?
Season 2 just started. We watched the first episode, which is fantastic. But no, we're I think 5 or 6 episodes behind now. I want to say.
You know, they announced a renewal today too.
Oh, cool.
For season 3.
Not surprised. It's good stuff. They only go like 8 episodes a season, anyways. I want to say, or something like that.
Which is honestly, I'm kind of becoming a greater fan of that. That whole like super short season.
Yeah, no.
But you give them all the budget in the world, let them tell a complete story in it's the Netflix thing.
Well, and by the time you get to the 4th season, you're not freaking sick of the show, you know?
Right. Exactly.
It seems more natural. Anyways, yeah. Cool. We last week mentioned a AM2R, stands for another Metroid 2 remake, that came out and got pulled because Nintendo filed a claim. I just wanted to mention, just a follow-up, that still exists. It's just gone underground, and the creators say don't get mad at Nintendo. But
too late.
It's available, I guess, in an underground manner still.
More like Nintendo ending with an H.
Nintendo?
No, Nintendo. But with an H.
Oh. Nintendo. It's been done.
So Sega does what Nintendo don't.
Also, Remedy got a new CEO. I don't want to talk about that at all, other than to say that their press release, their statement, official statement, was titled "New Remedy Boss Unlocked."
Pretty good. Sam Lake still works there.
He does. Yeah, apparently he was not the CEO. I figured he was the CEO and COO and just in charge of everything. And
creative director, I think, is what his
my
actual
heart
title is. No, definitely. Are you kidding me? I would divorce my wife for that, man.
I saw where that was going pretty quick.
Hey, look, nobody likes it when you're a total failure, So,
hey,
and I don't like it when I'm a
24
total
people
failure.
on a regular basis.
Well, that's true. I guess 24 people like major failures. Hi, I'm glad you're listening. You can join us as being the podcast version of THQ. We're gonna quit for a little while, but we'll be back as Zero Hit Points Nordic.
Oh, 0 Hitch Points. You were right. That's just it's a rebranding.
We're big fans of the Will Smith movie. So
or
THQ,
we're not, and we want 0 of them. I don't know.
Yeah,
we haven't decided yet.
We'll figure it out. It's a work in progress, like everything else we do. THQ died. Then they were revitalized. Now they are back as THQ Nordic. They have 13 unannounced games in development. To tell me a number of unannounced games, like, hey Ryan,
great, right?
I just want you to know that we as 0 Hit Points have 28 unannounced games in development.
Yeah. How you like that?
Yeah, and there's only 2 of us. Get on your...
Yeah. THQ
Get on it.
Nordic,
You've got like
but...
A little late.
Maybe don't announce a few more, huh? While you're at it. Why stop at 13?
Maybe don't announce a few more.
I have independently from 0 Hit Points have 14.
See?
Just myself unannounced projects.
We at 0 Hit Points like to announce unannounced projects.
Consider them unannounced.
Yeah. We are de-announcing them.
Also, I guess this company I didn't even know, but I guess it's not completely out of the blue. I guess they bought up most of what was left of THQ anyways. They got Darksiders, they got Red Faction, MX versus ATV, and a list
Thankfully.
of...
We were all worried about that one.
So, it'll, I guess, be interesting.
I don't have the energy, but lightning round.
All right, hit me.
Paragon Open Beta is live.
How live is it?
Minecraft now playable in VR on Oculus Rift.
Hold on.
Pac-Man Championship Edition 2 out September 13th.
Consider it done.
BioShock The Collection 70 gig on install out September 13th.
Well, now I'm just going to get that and Pac-Man Championship Edition 2 confused.
That makes sense. Rocket League Labs playlist gets The Octagon in September.
Is
but
that
it's
a
not
UFC thing?
See, no.
Oh.
See, I go Brian Fantana with that.
Oh, I love Fanta.
Call of Duty Infinite Warfare gets Zombies in Space.
One of my favorite bits from the Muppet Show was Pigs in Space.
Parappa the Rapper will have 96-second anime episodes in Japan.
No joke about 96-second episodes.
NeoGAF rumor says, Michael, I am a human arm removal machine. Ironside is back for the new Splinter Cell game.
That's the best nickname I've ever heard.
LEGO Dimensions adds Supergirl to new starter packs only for PS4.
Hey, the girls have always been hard to get, so whatever.
And here it is. This better be good.
Okay.
Because this is your
I don't know what my score is, but I can win it back here. It's all right. I got it.
Uno video chat restricted to friends only.
So you're telling me you're not going to change the amount of penises I see at all?
And that one is correct. You win the round.
I feel like it was my first lightning round. Give me... I'll do better next time.
All right. Well, so here's the deal. I don't know what I'm going to be playing this week. My week has already taken a dramatic turn. I'm actually very busy on Saturday. So I don't know. Probably Overwatch.
Well, let me tell you what games are coming out, and you can tell me if you're going to play them. How about that?
Oh.
Deus Ex Go comes out on the 18th.
Probably not.
Okay. F1 2016 comes out on the 19th.
Probably not.
Oh, I'm sorry. Style Savvy Fashion Forward for the 3DS.
Yeah, that's a definite play.
Okay. The 23rd, Deus Ex Mankind Divided? Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That was a day one at one point for me, I guess.
It's definitely I will play it. I don't think it's going to be a day one. And strictly, honestly, that only comes down to the fact that No Man's Sky is still, like,
sure.
I'm still getting into it. And the Vive.
Yeah, maybe I'll clean up Wolfenstein first and then look at... That could be the next one, though. And then Inside for PS4 also on that day, the 23rd.
Which does look very cool.
So does that help you with what games you might be playing this week?
No, not even a little bit.
Okay, cool. Titanfall 2, technical alpha beta test.
Gonna try.
Alpha?
I'm hoping I'll be there for that.
Okay. I'll finish up some more Wolfenstein, and I'm sure we'll end up playing some more Overwatch. Might that be what we stream tomorrow? I don't know what the
Possibly.
brawl is. Is it still Lucio Ball?
It's still Lucio
All right,
Ball.
sure, why not? Let's do it.
So I think it's going to be that, and I think I have an idea of what we're going to stream next week, but we will save that because it's going to be, I think when we get to stream what I'm hoping to stream, it's going to be a travesty of immense proportions. It's going to be very, very terrible.
It sounds great.
But we need about a week before we can do it.
Okay, all right. If you've looked at Instagrams, you can continue to look at Instagrams instantly on our grams. Monday and Friday videos are up. Could watch those. Matt appears on Friday. I appear on Monday. Tuesday videos will happen at some point whenever
we actually stream again.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, well, that'll happen, I guess. Yeah, maybe that's what I'll do. I'll just release that on Tuesday. Problems solved.
I didn't know I had them, but now that I know and they're fixed, I'm thankful.
And then we will stream tomorrow. That is at 7 p.m. PST. Matt Amberg, we started the show a little rough. You weren't happy.
Still not happy.
How do you feel now?
No, I'm still not happy. In fact, I may be more aggravated knowing what time it is and what I have left to do for the rest of the day.
0 hit points!